No. I'm gonna put them away. I left my cases on because I was like, yeah, it. All right. So, as promised, we are making a video tutorial on a cleansing and releasing on romantic relationships, but you can adapt these words to match those for a best friend or for family members. You just have to be intentional and name the person, okay? The materials you're going to need for this ritual is going to be a pink candle and a black candle, especially when dealing with any type of transmutation, you know, or if you're able to create the candle as well by doing candle molds, then you would do a half black, half pink. Pink would be on top, the black would be on the bottom, okay? Anyways, I'm going to do a mini demonstrational purpose for this video, okay, and for this tutorial. You can also do like white, like contrary to popular opinion or belief, white is one of the most powerful candles in your arsenal. A lot of people believe that for some reason it's not, because it's an easier candle to come by, but that's actually not true. Okay, it's the other way around. All right, but anyways, we are going to do a mini candle ritual. So if you notice that your partner is just being a dick, like they're being an asshole, right? Or they're being like they are not wanting to, they have a lot of unhealthy attachments or unhealthy addictions or unhealthiness, whatever the case may be. Well, we can do this transmutation, you know, combo mix, right? Without stress. You can also do like a yellow black version. You could do like a yellow white version of this as well, you know. It doesn't necessarily have to be this combination, but for this tutorial, what's it called? Hi Goldie. Also, if you were 1 year old, you wouldn't be able to type, so I don't know what you're even talking about, bro. Like, what the freak? Literally said in the thing, not made for children, so. Okay. Hi. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue on this. So, you could get like a darker pink as well. It doesn't, but a pink and a black will do. I would recommend doing a bigger combination. The reason why you want to do a bigger combination, like if it is like a smaller combination, it won't last as longer. It'll hold you off for a couple of days. You will need to repeat this. But if you do a little bit of a bigger candle or medium candle, maybe even like say this size, right? This size or a little bit bigger, it will run you a little bit longer. Okay, or you can create a little bit more. Okay, but anyways, we're gonna use a small candle for demonstration purposes. The other thing that you need is, I recommend a metal tray because you're gonna be using fire, bro. Hello. So yeah, intention matters a lot. Okay. You could also grab this like wood tray, but yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and start. You are doing fire safety, so it was 21 in here. Oh, okay, that's so cool. You are doing fire safety, sir. Yeah. Cleanse yourself, cleanse your items. The incense that I'm using is a 7 chakra cleanser. You could also use frankincense. You could also use an unlocking one, because we would be using in this case, we're using it like to specifically like break, like transmute all of that negative energy to work in your favor for love, right? For this partner that like maybe they're giving you a lot of trouble with healing, right? Romantically, because that's the one that's like the number one thing that people do not, you know, want to do. If you work with deities as well, like Santa or Aphrodite or Hecate, well, this is for love though, so there's that. But if you work with deities like Aphrodite, make sure you have already done your offerings. Your offerings are personal to you. Good night. I love you. Your offerings are personal to you, so like I'm not going to tell you on that. Like that is something that you have to come to an agreement with your own will, or with your ancestors, or with the goddesses, or with the folk saints. Like you need to do your research. There are books out there for that. I'll make a separate video later on talking about offerings alone, maybe in the future. But for right now, we are demonstrating the actual like ritual portion of it. Okay, we're demonstrating how to actually let me clean this off, create the candle work. Okay, transmute it into your favor, remove these blockages, remove these delays, heal. Like the best way that this would work is like if you know that that there's resentment there, like towards you, or resentment about love in general, like this person that you are wanting to kind of like push to heal has any type of resentment, or has any type of jealousy, or has any type of anything that's kind of like holding these people back, right? From experiencing love, from experiencing like moving forward and healing. And I mean, I'm saying healing, but you know, like they won't let go of their, like let's just talk it from the streets. Let's not use these spiritual terms. They won't let go of their ex. They have like this serious anger towards you. You piss them off. You piss each other off. Like you both can't seem to communicate with each other. And that's why I'm saying, like, use this. This is for romance right now, but you can also translate it or use it for, you know, family members, friendships, all that stuff, right? Okay. This will just transmute that energy that's there, that's stuck. This problematic energy that's here and stuck. Okay. So we're gonna do like resentment removal. Okay, like I'm going to do my own resentment removal. Okay, well, you all need to use it for your romantic relationships, right? Or like change up the words, but this would be for removal with something as powerful as a resentment. Like if you know that this person resents women, or resents men, or resents love, then you want to remove that, so that if you're trying to move forward with them in love, this problem has to be cut by the root, right? All right. So write their name, right? You're going to write their name. You cleansed your items. I'm using a pencil, but I have also used, okay, the color of the pen that you want to use, right? Okay. You want to write their name or visualize their name, and you need their birthday. You want to write their birthday as well. Both. All right. This one though, so this, you're going to write this one like, this is the transmutation. You're going to write transmutation on this candle. And on this one, you're going to write the problem, okay? because we're going to seal the problem away or remove it or kind of like pluck it with this. This is going to ground that energy off that person, okay? So I'm gonna write. Use your personal symbols, your personal sigils. I will give you a guidance on this. I use astrology symbols. So get familiar with what you want, like astrologically. If you already have symbols that you're going to go towards those, okay? But I use astrology symbols like Aries, Venus, the planet, Leo, and Taurus, because I deeply understand what those symbols will bring, what will happen, all that good stuff. So do your research on symbols, you know, and you want to add a protection symbol. I have a personal symbol that I created for protection that I'm going to add right now, because you want, that's always number one, protection, 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 right? Especially since you're the one that's going to be casting it. Okay. All right. And then whatever symbols you need, whatever symbols you want to add like after that. So I have some personal protection symbols. That's always number one. It always goes at the protection symbol will always go at the top. And then your releasing symbol can be the 4 directions, like a compass. Okay. All right. Literally 4 directions. So it should look like, it should look like this. All right. This is your releasing symbol. You could also use this as well. All right. But if you use this one, there will be shadow work involved. Just as a heads up. Okay? Just as a heads up. So, if you want to take the extra element, like maybe you really like working with paper, that's fine. I ripped this apart on purpose. So I learned from my mentors, and I had many, that you want to rip off 4 edges, so that it becomes your paper, as an example, right? Like it's fully yours. It's not created with anyone else's energy, all that good stuff. Anyway, so I'm doing that now, creating my 4 borders, so that when you write, this is not mine, this, I learned this. I learned creating your own paper. Everything is very intentional, on purpose, you know, yeah. So there's no energy, it's like a real, like, set, okay? You would also write like your full, like, ritual, whatever you want to call it, your manifestation, your ritual, your alchemy, your spell, whatever you want to call it. That's a personal truth. Like that's a personal choice. Okay. You want to write it. So like, this is the way that I sequence mine. So you can do it your way. All right. I will put all of the symbols that I'm going to draw out here on the edge. I write the name, first and last name if I have it, up here, and the birthday. And then I always start, I'm going to give you the words of this as well, but let me like create it really quickly. So this is simulation resentment removal, okay? Just as a heads up. All right. Oh, and before we do anything, I'm like teaching y'all, but I already talked to them about it, but you talk to your freaking team, okay? Because your ancestors and your higher self are the people that have the best interest for you. So, I'm going to see what they have to say. Cleanse the cards. Cleanse the cards. You want the best outcome. You want this to be amazing, right? You want this to go exactly the way you need it to go. Cleanse the cards. Take the time to do all of the things, right? Cleanse yourself. Cleanse the cards. I'm showing y'all but we're going back a step, right? And ask them, is this in my best interest to do this, you know, resentment removal or this transmutation ritual? They will never steer you wrong. Ask your higher self. You don't have to talk to a deity if you don't want to, but if you are having a very close personal relationship with your deities, then, you know, for protection purposes, you know, ask them, you know. They will help teach you how to construct it the best way. But ask your higher self. So for this example, and this is like, I love my team. Okay. So this is a simulation, but they know that I'm talking about a romantic transmutation of some sort. They are like verbatim telling me right here, if the blockages are that this person is not, like, this is like a random, you know, example, like, because this is going to help out so many people in their magic, practicing safely, and with this being the issue. If it is that this person is super emotional, can create so many blockages that they're depressed, like whatever the case may be. We have the 5 of Cups here, right? That they get so lost in their brain, or they're so hazy, or they have like turned themselves off to like feeling or receiving emotions, or whatever the case. Like they have that very stuck energy. Like they are like, create this ritual in this form. Like, make sure that there's justice on their behalf and on your behalf, like, for this transmutation to kind of occur. So that when they impulsively start acting, because, like, more than likely, the person is too impulsive or they're running away, whatever the case may be, like, but they are not allowing themselves to sit with their emotions long enough and think before they react. More than likely, that's what's happening. It's not going to be like 100% of the time. But if you are dealing with someone in this, like, because we're talking about a very specific simulated, you know, example for this, for you to achieve the best success, like, my team is like saying, like, they will be forced to sit with it before they come to any like resolution or like an example of any kind. Like, before they make up their mind, before they say like, oh, I'm going to act on this, or I'm going to do this, or this. No, like, I'm ghosting you, as an example, like, right? Well, no, like, now instead of saying something impulsive that's going to hurt you and them or whatever, like, it hurts them because they're self-sabotaging. Instead of them going that route, they will now be sitting and thinking, and they'll like change their mind, they'll change their answer, you know, it'll transmute into productivity. Like, that's what the way they want it to be structured. So we need to use what they're telling us, right? As an example, like, this is the guide they're giving us. Use this in order so that it can come out the best way. Because what will end up happening? The outcome is, look at these 2 people. They're having fun. Money is being spent. There's nothing, like, there's no trouble, you know? There's happiness. Both people are willingly allowing themselves to experience a beautiful, loving moment, right? That's the outcome. And it'll continue on. Like, they're recommending an herb right here, like cat's, like, what is it? Is catnip, or it's cat claw or cat claw bark. I'll go look at the herb right now, but catnip is an example of one. Like, for it to latch on, they're recommending grab an herb that will be like take on a little bit more for this type of simulated situation, so that not just for this one instance, but for like multiple instances, they can create this new pattern where they now sit and think about it before they're about to do something destructive, before they're about to do something toxic, before they're about to do something, you know, that's going to be very hurtful. They will have to sit and think. So they're recommending that an herb that'll catch on and stick will be there, okay? That is what the team is saying. So you want to talk to your team always. You want to talk to your team. You thank them. Thank you so much, higher self. Thank you so much to my team, because they're the ones that are going to help you with your success story. Okay? All right. So now we know that. All right. So continuing with this. I need a little bit of a bigger plate, but we're using a tiny version as an example, but you want to get a bigger version, like a medium, or you could get chime candles. You could get mini candles as well. Just make sure you'll just have to do a lot more of these, like a lot more. Like you might have to do the entire pack, like as an example. Okay, like damn. But you know, like you might have to grab like a whole bunch of packs, right? But still, all that matters is intention and the offering. Okay, if all you can grab is chime candles, okay, that's all you can grab. Like, okay, like it is what it is. But make sure that your offerings are on point. Okay, so. You're going to put the transmute, like the actual word transmute. Or if you want to scribe it, everyone has their way. Some people scribble. You want to visualize the actual word transmute. Okay? Literally. Okay? On the candle. Name, birthday, and the literal word on the candle. On this one, you're going to put the problem, right? Removal. You want to use words like removal. Or you can also use, what's the issue? Like the resentment. Okay? We will put the resentment right here. You can even use this as a self-love thing as well. Okay? If you are resenting yourself and you are struggling to kind of overcome this, you can also use that for yourself. Right? Perfect. Amazing. All right. So we're going to go ahead and do all these things. Also, something that helps a lot is put some high vibe music, or put music that's in theme. Like create a playlist for it that is in theme with you, to get you in the groove of things. Like, totally forgot to say that. Okay. Really important, you know, powerful, important, all that good stuff. So don't be afraid. Like, if I'm going to put Goddess Code on, because Goddess Code is a manifesting song. But you can put like Peach Cup, you know, whatever artist you want, whatever gets you in the like creation energy, right? If you want it fast paced, use the sign of Mercury, but it might also not last as long. Just as a heads up. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Use the symbol of Leo and Taurus or fixed signs. Well, I wouldn't recommend Scorpio, no lie. If you really wanted to like make a firm, you know, change. All right. So these are done, right? You already wrote what you needed to write. This is how you stick it to the pan. Okay? Boom. Done? Okay. I'm using a tiny pan as an example. Here, I want y'all to like see it. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and continue and draw my symbols here. Use the energy that you really connect with, you know, that you're really vibe with. Okay. So I'm gonna read it with you, and then we're gonna also like post it so that y'all will have the words, right? And I'll show like everything except the name. So yeah. Okay. So I don't have anyone that I'm like releasing resentment for, so I'm just doing a transmutation on myself, but you would use words of power, something like this. Like you would start with, you would write the name of the person, you write their birthday in the sequence up here where my thumb is, but I use myself, so like that's none of y'all's business, right? Then all of the symbols that I'm choosing to use here, okay, as you can see on the side. And then the way that I write anything or say anything when I am speaking the intention, because you're going to write it and then you're going to say it, because the magic is in yourself, right? And it's in the magic that channels through you after you've been activated or after you've worked long enough with your team, with the deities that you might work with, you know. So I always say I activate this. I activate this, right? And so for y'all, it would be I activate this resentment removal transmutation ritual, or resentment removal transmutation spell, right? Or resentment removal transmutation alchemy, or manifestation. But I say I activate. That's what you're doing. You're activating. You can use the words I petition, I open up the roads to, or whatever the case may be, you know. But I like to use, I very, very much like vibe with I activate. Okay. So that's how you would start that sentence. I activate this transmutation, resentment removal, blockage removal from, you know, what's the name of the, can you activate your own bank account? Because that's what you need to do. Like, you need to banish poverty away. Like, hello? And you need to talk to your team. We are talking about love right now, but like whatever's going on with your bank account, like, sounds like a you problem. Anyways, continuing. I activate this transmutation ritual to transmute all self-doubt into self-love, self-confidence, and pain to power. So that is the ritual that I am like activating right now with this one, because I don't have any resentment. Like I don't have any resentment I gotta deal with right now. But there are, y'all do, right? Like y'all might have been getting into a fight or something like that. Like, so yeah. Anyways, so you would use the first set of words that I said, and then you would say pain to power. Like, pain to power is super, super, super important. Okay. The offering for this is, right, and then you would name, like you would write it down, and then you would actually name it, right? Right now I'm choosing to offer knowledge, so like learning more, which I already am in a class, so that is good. And the second thing that I'm offering is shadow work, but because this is a self-doubt into self-love, you know, like ritual for me. But for y'all, like that's when I say like y'all can change the words, this is what I'm talking about. When you are wanting to will something onto somebody else, when you are trying to will something onto somebody else, you need to make like a food offering. You need to make a real offering. Okay. Because you're trying to remove resentment. Like, you have to be sweet to their team too. Okay. Because this is about love. All right. So anyways, continuing. Then you would say, like, I cut the root, I cut the root, I cut the root. Like, you could say it one, you could say it 3 times, but I like to say it 3 times. I cut the root of spite. I cut the root of resentment. I cut the root now. Okay? We remove it. We release it. We unleash it. We transmute it into love, into open roads. Okay? Something to that extent. Something to that nature, right? Something that your ancestors can understand. Okay? Let the bitterness of any resentment be released or be transmuted now, starting today. Let it be changed. Okay? You already named your offering. You already said it. Now, once more time, you say, this is the offering. That's how I like to close it. The offering for this is self-knowledge, shadow work. So will it be, so will it be, so will it be. Some people do, so mote it be. Some people do, ashe, and so it is. Some people say, just end it with their gratitude, okay? I like to actually close it with a set of words. And then I thank all of the spirits that I'm working with. But in this case, I'm only working with myself. But I still make an acknowledgement of my teachers, right? So thank you, Santa Muerte. Thank you, Hecate. Thank you, Universe. Thank you, Ancestors, for my highest good. Thank you, Aphrodite. Thank you, Higher Self. Okay? Thank yourself as well. Thank their team if you are involving somebody else and removing their resentment or their spite or their jealousy. You're transmuting it, whatever the case may be, right? Or they just have like a problem to get to this love, right? Thank the teams. Okay. Now that that is done, you can tuck it wherever you want, if I'm being quite honest. Okay. The herbs that I'm going to select for this and oils. Skullcap. Skullcap is an amazing herb for banishing and protection. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. You want to create the path, and I just have a very personal I have a very personal bond with this herb, but be very careful because transmutation is a combination of removing and attracting, so be very careful. Use your intuition. You don't have to use this herb, but I like using Minoa. Minoa is a fertility herb. It's a creation herb. I really like this herb a lot. I love this herb a lot, but I'm very connected to this herb. So, but alternatives for Minoa are, you can use like honey if you want it to be a little bit faster sugar. Okay. For added protection, I would definitely use cloves. On the section where you are, like with the pink candle, you are going to face the cloves towards the candle. But with the black candle, you are going to face them away from the candle. Okay. Just as a heads up. You're going to place them like that. That way they understand what in the Forkerson is happening, because otherwise you're going to confuse the spirits, bro. All right. And they said that we need to use an herb that sticks. So first let me do you want to do a blockage removal or road opener oil. Okay. On the black one. You can also add it to the page as well. Speaking the intentions matters a lot. If I like to add sound. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. Lavender is super, 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 super good. Vanilla is really good too, but you want to add it to the pink candle. Okay. And I'm going to use this. Bergamot is a really good one for clarity. I'm using bergamot oil in the pink candle again. Okay. Super important. If the person has a very intense personality, okay, use an uncrossing oil, but I would use a light one, not like a heavy duty one, because you don't want to banish them all the way away, right? Okay, so test it out. Maybe use a drop or two, maybe not 3 drops. Okay. What else would I use? Oh, we can use some orange peel. That's fine. It'll really like do the action work and bring a lot of vitality. You can use it around both. That's fine too. Okay. Beautiful. If you don't have the offering now and you've built a beautiful relationship with your spirits, Set a date for when you're going to actually place that offering. Super important. Really, really, really important. Okay. If you need it a little bit faster, then use coffee, but it might not last as long. Okay. And cinnamon is just a beautiful herb all around. I love this herb so much. Okay, like love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I love cinnamon so much. Naturally brings in financial protection, but it is just a beautiful herb in this case. And I really like cinnamon because I feel like cinnamon has transmutation elements to it. So yeah. And poppy seeds if you want. Poppy seeds have very good transmutation elements to them as well. And if you don't want poppy seeds, that's fine. You can, this is really to go into their mental. You can do calendula as well. All right. Beautiful. Like either or, I'm gonna put both, but either or will do really good. Connect with the candle as well. Okay. In a transmutation, what moon, it does kind of matter, but since you're doing both, I would suggest the energy of a new moon, or the energy of a full moon, but also gibbous would be fine. Okay, a gibbous moon would be fine, but like honestly, that's one of the beauties about transmutation is that like it's a blend of both energies. So it's like the moon, like the time of the month, like which one starts off is gonna like be the one that starts, but it's a transmuting, so it's gonna have a blend of both anyway, so you're fine. Okay, and then you light her up and you sit. Okay, and then the second portion of this tutorial is what do you do with it when it's done. So if you have a lot of excess of herbs, okay, we're gonna wait for this to like go all the way down. If you have a lot of excess of herbs like this, I have a cup and I put all of the stuff that I do with like all the stuff like to compost, and I go to a location in my private property and I compost it like properly, because it's literally herbs, like it's literally earth. But the candle wax, you just use the manufacturer's directions on how to dispose of it properly. I throw it away in the trash if it's not a candle. Like these chime candles are not made of soy, so you can't compost them. But if you're like beeswax candles, you can compost those candles because they're literally beeswax. Okay, so just be aware of that. But like if it's compostable, you like give it back to the earth. You know, you can use it as compost for your plants if you have plants wards, you know, in your home, or like you have offering plants, you know, all that good stuff. But if not, like you can return it to the earth and just kind of be like, you know, release it with intention. Intention matters like a lot. Like how you show up mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually matters so much. Okay, even when you think it does not. Because if you are in a position in life where you disrespect everything or you're skeptical, that's the way that it's gonna reflect back to you. So when you show up, at least try to show up from a neutral standpoint so that you can get the best intention. Okay, but this is the end of the tutorial. This is what I would do. This can be, you know, morphed as wide as the eye can go, as wide as your creativity can go. It can go towards friends, coworkers, you know, you can go toward, it's specifically designed for people that have resentment towards you, you know, but you can morph this into what you need it to be. But this is a type of transmutation, ritual, alchemy, spell, whatever you want to call it, manifestation. And yeah, and when you're done with it, like I said, like you can just like throw it away. It's fine. Or if it's compostable, compost it, you know? But that's what I have for y'all. And then you should, for chime candles, you will feel the effects of the chime candles in the next few days, but it runs out like within like 3-4 days. It doesn't last long. But like a 7-day candle can last up to a month, right? Or it can last forever. You know, it depends on what you're requesting or what you're asking. Also, like when you're talking to the spirits, when you're talking to your ancestors, when you're talking to your higher self, what are the motives and intentions? Because if you're doing it out of spite and you're not doing it from a place of like, I want them to actually move forward so we can move forward, then you're gonna have to keep redoing the ritual. But if you're doing it from a wholesome place of like, okay, I care about this person enough and I'm sitting down and I'm gonna like attempt like what I want, like I want them to move on from this, like I just want to move forward. Because if you want to control someone, that's a domination ritual, that's not this, okay? So they're gonna clap back with like, nice try, you know. But for this, like, they're paying attention and they're listening to everything you are saying and doing, you know, and how you feel when you're doing it the entire time, because you are the caster. So hello. So yeah, anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial. I will be posting this, you know, and yeah. Is there any questions that anyone has at all, maybe? If you stuck around. No? All right. Well, thank you for the comment, the clap. I love it. Okay. If no one has any questions, if no one has any comments, if no one has any like anything that they want to like ask about, that's fine. We'll go ahead and end it here. This was beautiful, and I will see you on the next tutorial. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining. Let me know in the comments how it went. Follow, subscribe, consider subscribing and supporting. I appreciate the support. You know, it puts me in a position where we can continue to do these tutorials like this for free here on YouTube, because YouTube will subsidize the like finances for it. Anyways, thank you all so much for showing up. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have a transmutation, you know, like alchemy ritual of your own that you tried that you really liked, or what herbs you really feel like connected to. And if you enjoyed this guide at all. Okay. I will see you in the next one. Thank you for coming. Bye. I'll see you tomorrow, or I'll see you on TikTok tomorrow. All right. Bye.